They say this one doesn't mean anything in the standings, but just try telling the teams that. West Deptford and Paulsboro are one of the most spirited rivalries in South Jersey. For West Deptford, it'll be the Eagles' Super Bowl after being eliminated from the South Jersey Group 2 playoffs. For Paulsboro, there are playoffs next week, but the Red Raiders will certainly treat this one as a postseason game. Hello everybody, I'm Marc Narducci along with Shawn Leary, bringing you all the action between West Deptford and Paulsboro. As we mentioned, one of the great rivalries in South Jersey. Two 9-1 teams, and Shawn, it doesn't take much for either team to get up for each other.
Nah, especially this rivalry, Mark, and you said it, it's probably one of the best rivalries in South Jersey. You know, some could argue Gloucester Catholic, when you get those two teams together throughout the records. Same thing goes here, but, you know, they're always at the top of their standings. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to throw out the records. They're usually 9-1. Maybe going into the final, both teams. You know, Paulsboro getting into the final last week, a lot of people thought it might have been reversed. You know, Paulsboro going up against the #1 seed in Glassboro, and West Deptford being the #2 seed, and getting upset by Haddonfield. So the roles are a little bit reversed into what we thought. Maybe, you know, Paulsboro and West Deptford could have been playing for a South Jersey final next week. That doesn't happen, but it doesn't matter anyway. When you look at this game, both teams have a lot of pride. This rivalry goes very deep. Mark, over the years, there's been some great games. I wouldn't expect anything less for 100% effort from both teams.
And there should be no playoff hangover from West Deptford either, because this is such a spirited rivalry, right?
Oh, I wouldn't think so. I mean, you know, Clyde Folsom, I'm sure, had these kids prepared and ready for the following week. There was a game this past week where Williamstown and Delsea had the same situation. Delsea going into the Group 2 final, and you know, of course, Williamstown getting knocked out from Cherokee. And you know, it takes a day or two to get over that sting of losing in the playoffs. But both teams prepare themselves right after that, get ready for this game, and I couldn't imagine either team letting down after this. You know, this is one of the biggest rivalries without a doubt in South Jersey.
You know, it's a typically late November windy day here at Paulsboro, so obviously both teams very strong in the running game, and obviously you talk about Jimmy Owens when you mention West Deptford, one of the top backs in South Jersey, but there's some other pretty good ones, complimentary backs on this Eagles team, especially Ken Tamasitis.
Yeah, Kenny Tamasitis last year, he was one of the featured backs. And, you know, and Jimmy Owens has really blossomed coming off that big injury. So now Kenny Tamasitis is kind of the complimentary back to Jimmy Owens. And what he's been able to do is really establish himself as not being the guy who's keyed on and featured on. That's putting him almost at 10 yards per pop. 450-some yards, I think, or 430-some yards. I think it was 45 carries, 8 touchdowns. And he's a slasher. He's going to be able to get inside. And what he does is he cuts back against the grain as well as anybody as a high school athlete. He shoots to the outside. And he's one of those guys that can, if you're not paying attention to him, he can be very deceptive and get past you in a hurry.
And when you talk about Paulsboro, obviously senior quarterback Kevin Johnson has had an outstanding season, but the ground game has also been headed up by junior Aaron Tilden. Here's a guy, Shawn, he's averaging over 7 yards a carry.
Absolutely, and you know, this is the featured back for Paulsboro. Mark, you know, when you're a featured back for Paulsboro, there's a lot of pressure on you to have success. You know, with that big offensive line in front of you, you got to be able to run the football with some power, but also catch the ball to the backfield. You know, make sure that you read the cuts well. Make sure you block. There's a lot of pressure to do everything right at Paulsboro because you have guys in front of you that'll let you know if you're not doing your job. And there's always guys behind you ready to come in and spell you. Aaron Tilden has done a fantastic job this season and become one of those feature backs for Paulsboro. You know, I think he needs to have a big game, really strap this team on his shoulders, because you know West Deptford's going to bring it. They always have those great linebackers that come in, shoot the gaps extremely well. You know, cutting to the outside, finding the holes, great field vision, going to be very important against a strong and stingy West Deptford defense.
So Paulsboro coming in on the heels of a 35-0 victory over two-time defending South Jersey Group 1 champion Glassboro. Meanwhile, West Deptford looking for some redemption after last week's 15-13 defeat to Haddonfield. We'll be back for the opening kickoff right after this timeout. And welcome back. Marc Narducci along with Shawn Leary here on the Gloucester County Educational Network as we present Paulsboro and Woodbury. Paulsboro in the red, or Paulsboro and West Deptford, excuse me. I'm getting a week ahead of myself there, Shawn. As Grimes kicks off to West Deptford, and that ball goes in the end zone, so it'll be West Deptford starting out 1st and 10.
The wind traditionally blowing a little bit right to left. It's more toward the Paulsboro sideline, Mark, but usually you have that wind blowing either right to left or from the West Deptford or opposing sideline to the Paulsboro sideline. Should play a small factor in today's game.
Nick Giraldi, the quarterback.
They're going to stop this. Looked like it might have been a false start. Somebody a little anxious along that offensive line.
Flag on the play.
There you see the officials. Owen Morris, the ref.
Encroachment. Defense.
They're going to get encroachment for Paulsboro. Bob Eaton, the umpire. George Wagner on the line judge. And Bob Sheeran, line judge. Tim Atanasi, the back judge. And the Bruce Davidson up here at the clock.
1st and 10 from the 25, or 1st and 5 from the 25. Tamasitis, number 2 in motion. It's Jimmy Owens.
Owens on the carry.
Jimmy Owens, the feature back here at West Deptford. 3rd in South Jersey in scoring, behind only Austin Medley of Delsey, who came into this week as the #1 scorer in South Jersey, and right behind him was Marcus Hampton from Williamstown.
Owens with 1,319 yards, 25 touchdowns. Again, we have a flag here, Shawn, as things a little unsettled in the early going. On that offensive line for West Deptford, it's Dan Hempsey, Marcus Winston, Mike Passetti, Cody Mraz, and Jameel Pollard up front. We talked about Giraldi.
There you see the offensive line. In the back, you have Vaughn Scott split out with Andrew Corman at the tight end. The 2 backs are Jimmy Owens and Fearon, along with Tamasitis. Excuse me, 3 backs.
And that is Vaughn Scott there, and he has been a dynamic performer this year for West Deptford as Scott gets over the 35 to about the 38-yard line. Gain of 6, so it'll be 2nd and 4 from the 38. Scott, 790 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns. He's been employed as a Wildcat quarterback too, as there's Owens over the 40.
Jimmy Owens on the carry for the Ice.
There you see the Paulsboro defensive line. It's Grimes and Davis, the defensive ends. Inside it'll be Curl, Healy, and Ross. Curl and Healy having 5 tackles apiece, leading the team in that semifinal game. Zach Greenwald and Eric McMullen filling in for Maurice Lee.
Owens passed, he has the first down easily as Jimmy Owens gets across midfield, and West Deptford really moving the ball here in the early going.
It'll be interesting to see how Paulsboro responds to this game after the first series. I'm sure they'll get into it there. You see the defensive backs. It's Kevin Johnson, Sean McLean, who had a good game against Glassboro. Ryan Moore, the other safety. Aaron Tilden will play opposite Johnson, that cornerback position.
That was a gain of 10, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the Paulsboro 49. Owens again, and he gets the ball up near the 45-yard line.
Good surge by that offensive line, pushing Paulsboro back a little bit. Again, it'd be interesting to see how really both teams get into this game. You see Clyde Folsom, head coach to the right for West Deptford, giving some instructions.
Clyde Folsom's career record, 176, 63, and 5. That was a gain of 3, so it'll be 2nd and 7 from the Paulsboro 46-yard line. Tamasitis breaks through. 1st down, and he's running inside the 30-yard line, tackled by Kevin Johnson.
Number 3, Kevin Johnson, 1st and 10, West Deptford at the Red Raider 29-yard line.
Well, through the years, Tamasitis has been a kid that hasn't been one of your bigger backs in South Jersey, but never afraid to run inside. Again, getting the opportunity, a huge hole opens up, and there you see some players downfield. Hempsey Running down, you see Clyde's record. Marc mentioned 176-63-1, 9-1 this season. Really happy with the production of his kids this year.
1st and 10 from the 29, and Vaughn Scott making an outstanding open field tackle. Eric McMullen, the linebacker for Paulsboro.
Yeah, they like Eric McMullen here. They think that they don't lose a whole lot, and that's not a knock on Maurice Lee. It's just the improvement from Eric McMullen coming in. Spelling Lee was injured in a game earlier this season, and you know what, McMullen has come in and done a real nice job. Lee was injured in that first playoff game.
2nd and 6 from the 25. West Deptford on the opening drive and marching. Fearon make that. Going on the outside, Kevin Johnson strung the play out, and then Paulsboro cleaned up on there.
Absolutely right. Kevin Johnson made a heck of a play there. Looked like it was Raz, who was out on the outside trying to block Kevin Johnson. Instead of allowing the ball carrier to get to the outside, Johnson forces him to go back in where he has some help from his teammates.
Be 3rd and 4 from the 23 as Fearon had a gain of 2 that time. Owens, he drops the ball. And that'll be back to the 25-yard line.
But it didn't look like Owens ever had real good possession. He peeked up, see where he was going to be taken off, and you lose a couple of yards there, and now it'll be 4th
and 6 from the 25. Now, West Deptford has a great kicker in Ben Cornelius, but in this wind and everything,
yeah, it'd be very difficult.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, that would be like about a 42-yard. Araldi back to pass, overthrew, and Johnson was coming in on the blitz that time, and the Paulsboro defense is held. Here with 7:10 left in the first quarter, Paulsboro will take over 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line.
Well, it's very difficult to be able to continue a drive. There you see Kevin Johnson, who was just beside himself in that Glassboro game, the semifinal, 5'10", 170-pound senior, and was outstanding in every way, shape, and form.
I don't think everyone was stunned that they won, but the fact that Paulsboro got up 28-0 at half and won 35-0, that was a shocker. Aaron Tilden, who we talked about early on, he gets hit, and he just keeps bouncing along there. Temasitis, one of the first guys in there.
See the Paulsboro offensive line. It's Nick Curl and Anthony Ross, the tackles. Scope Savinea and Sal Vernaccio, the guards. Pop Little, center for today's game. The weapons for the Red Raiders. Zach Greenwald will join Aaron Tilden in the backfield. Shawn McLean and Terrence Downs split out wide, and Casey Grimes, real good tight end for the Red Raiders.
Tilden gained 4 that time, so it'll be a 2nd and 6 from the 29-yard line. No score here in the first quarter. Johnson keeps the ball, and he gets up just near the 30.
Good play that time by Haynes on the outside, closing down, making the tackle. He had 21 unassisted tackles coming into today's game, 10 assisted. Counted for 1 sack for the Eagles.
There was no gain, so it'll be 3rd and 6 from the 29. Kevin Johnson has really come on. You know, he missed just about the entire season last year with that the thigh injury. 1,082 yards, 10 touchdowns passing, and he's also averaged 7 yards a carry, so he's a real dual threat for the Red Raiders. Johnson looking to pass, complete that time to number 11, Terrence Downs, for the first down.
Terrence Downs, a senior, going to run a slant pattern here, able to pick it up for Paulsboro. You see Maxwell and Haynes, the defensive ends, Pollard, Pacitti, the tackles, and R.J. Falls, this great special teams player as well. Dan Short and Andrew Corman, the linebackers for West Deptford. Vaughn Scott and Naraldi, the cornerbacks. Tamasitis and Jason Box, the safeties.
That was a gain of 12 that time, so it'll be 1st and 10 Red Raiders from the 41-yard line. Pitch to Tilden. Tilden makes the catch, but a tremendous defensive play that time by Tamasitis again coming up.
Tamasitis comes up a little gingerly. See here the pitch. Johnson waits. Ball almost gets away from Tilden. Tamasitis converges on the play along with Vaughn Scott. Tamasitis maybe nicked up that shoulder.
That'll be a loss of 1 that time, so it'll be 2nd and 11 from the Paulsboro from its own 40-yard line.
Didn't mention the Paulsboro coach yet, but of course probably doesn't need any introduction, is Glenn Howard.
Play action. Johnson has some time, and now he'll scramble, and he was hit initially that time by Jamil Pollard. The 6'5", 270-pound sophomore, and he gets right about to the line, back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and 11 from the 40.
Everybody does their job here. Great job by the offensive line for Paulsboro protecting Johnson, but nowhere to go with the football. Nice job with the secondary of West Deptford, not allowing him to go anywhere with the football, and he's corralled down by Pollard, the big guy who's 39 total tackles.
Paulsboro will call timeout as Glenn Howard now goes talks to the team. So with no score here in a very brisk first quarter, Paulsboro nothing, West Deptford nothing. Back for more right after this timeout. Paulsboro back, 3rd and 11 from its own 40-yard line. Johnson back with the screen, and that is sniffed out by Vaughn Scott, making a tremendous tackle that time as Tyree Ellis makes the catch. Vaughn Scott right there.
Yeah, you're going to see this play develop. Looked like Curl missed his block that time. Doesn't allow the screen to really set up. And a good job defensively by Scott coming up, making the play. Excellent closing speed from Scott. That play didn't look like it was going to work from the beginning now. Paulsboro's going to have to give it back.
Greenwald, the punter. Oh, and it's blocked! It's blocked! It looked like Fearon got it! West Deptford recovers inside the 10-yard line. It looked like Rob Fearon on the block.
Yeah, this is a spot where Paulsboro has not done real well this season, and they have always done an excellent job in special teams. And Fearon comes flying up, gets the block, and that's just, you know, something you don't typically see from a Paulsboro team. Is usually they're the ones that have the better special teams. They've fallen short in that category this season a couple of times. You see Glenn Howard's career record, 215-37, 9-1 this year.
Actually, I said inside the 10. It's just outside the 10. 1st and 10 from the 11. Tamasitis, and he is met by a horde of Paulsboro tacklers. Garin in there, as well as Casey Grimes.
Yeah, Casey Grimes has been a real good football player for this Paulsboro team for the last couple of seasons. You see Tamasitis getting a chance, and again, not afraid to go back to the inside, just nothing was there for him.
2nd and 8 from the 9-yard line. Pitch to Owens. Owens has a block that time, and he's in.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Jimmy Owens, 9 yards.
What an outstanding job by the left side of that offensive line, and including Kenny Tamasitis coming out of the backfield. He was able to get a block on the corner to spring Owens, but Hempsey, Pollard get the job done against a real stingy Paulsboro defense. West Deptford able to strike first. It was no surprise that they went to their workhorse, Jimmy Owens, on 2nd down.
26th touchdown of the year. Cornelius now for the conversion.
Is up
And that's good. Paulsboro got a good surge on that. So with 2:34 left here in the first quarter, it's West Deptford 7 and Paulsboro nothing.
But 2 plays, 11 yards, set up by the block punt. Watch Tamasitis here. You see Hempsey going out.
Yep.
To throw a block along with Fearon, but that block right there by Tamasitis springs Jimmy Owens to the outside and into the end zone. Another good job by the West Deptford offensive line.
A lot is always talked about how strong and powerful that line is each year and dominates Colonial Conference teams while they're up against one of the better defensive lines in the Colonial Conference in Paulsboro. We saw what the Red Raiders were able to do against Glassboro in the semifinal. So an impressive couple of plays puts West Deptford on the scoreboard first. Real important to get up in this game. I'm sure both coaches said they'd like to get up and play a little loose.
Special teams, such a big part, and you know, West Deptford has a little chip on its shoulder as well, Shawn. The last couple of years, Paulsboro gotten the better of things here. Remember last year, Gerald Hodges had such a fine game as Paulsboro won.
Just ready to say that, Mark. I mean, he was just unbelievable last year at West Deptford. One of the, probably the greatest individual effort that I've seen in high school, where a guy just put the team on his shoulders and willed them to a victory.
Tilden returns from the 10. And I'll tell you what, a nice special teams tackle there by 33, Dan Short. He just got a piece of him, but it was enough.
The Red Raiders will take over first and 10.
AC West Deptford, 455 points this year to 74. 15 of them coming in that semifinal loss to Haddonfield. 46-7 is the average this year. Red Raiders is doing everything that they need to do to get wins. At 287 points, a modest 287, 29 points. I'm sure they could have scored a lot more, but they sometimes call off the dogs here. Get some of their younger players some action, provide depth.
Downs, wide right, McLean left. Tilden. And Tilden will get up to about the 35-yard line. That's a gain of 6.
Yeah, it's a nice gain on first down. That's, you know, you want to be able to establish a running game on the inside. You pick up 6 yards. You kill 2 birds, 1 stone there, Mark, because you need to be able to establish some type of running game with West Deptford, especially on the inside. If they start to own the trenches and that confidence gets going, you're in trouble.
RJ Falls on that tackle, and he's been a great addition to this team.
Oh boy, how about this special teams play? 6 block kicks this year.
Tilden again.
Tilden
close to the first down, little bit short. Tackle in there. First hit was by Vaughn Scott. Also, Temasitis was right there as well.
Temasitis on the tackle for the Eagles, bring up third. Less than 1 for
This is an interesting play call. You could go quarterback sneak, or also you have Zach Greenwald, who has moved to the fullback position this year. You see the Eagle pacing the sidelines.
Greenwald, by the way, averaging 7.34 yards per carry, so Johnson will sneak, and he has enough for the first down. Great surge there by that. You talked about that Paulsboro offensive line. It's a young offensive line, Shawn.
Yeah, they do have some guys who have gained some valuable experience this year, but it is a young offensive line. You have some guys who are going to be returning next year, which doesn't bode well for Paulsboro opponents.
How about
2010?
How about Pop Little, a freshman center for this team? First and 10 from the 41-yard line for the Red Raiders. Johnson on the option to Tilden. Tilden has some room up near the first down, and he may have gotten it. And a shoestring tackle that time by Temasitis. And if he doesn't make it, Shawn, he could go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. You see some Paulsboro Red Raiders pulling that time. Sal Bernaccio, the pitch right there, and you see a good quarterback will wait to that last second, gets it out, and then Tilden with his jets just turns it on. And a nice stretch there to get to the first down. He picks up about 3 yards just diving ahead, and good body control to get the chains moving once again.
That was a 10-yard gain, so it'll be first and 10 from the 49 of West Deptford. Well, both teams have been impressive on the ground here today. Johnson, he was looking for downs, but that time overthrown.
Yep.
Good coverage by the West Deptford secondary.
And the wind might have got a hold of that football as he's thrown basically with his back to the wind in that spot. Second and 10. You mentioned Pop Little, and you know, to come in as a freshman and make an impact, become a starting center for this team. He's going to gain some valuable experience and just grow as a football player, being able to play on the varsity level, and also gives you the confidence going into next season, in the off season, when you're working out, you're lifting weights, and you start feeling good about yourself.
2nd and 10. Johnson again. Being chased and tries a touch pass that time, as he had Casey Grimes there, overthrew it. So it'll be 3rd and 10 from the 49.
Yeah, and you know what? This is going to be tough to have touch passes today because of that wind. Once you get that ball floating up into the air, it's going to do some funny things. And he might have had a guy deep. You see some Paulsboro coaches pointing in that direction. Just wasn't able to see it as he was rolling to his left. Tough spot now, 3rd and long. Expect Johnson to probably drop back once again.
Quarterback draw is always a good play here. 3rd and 10 from the 49. We'll see. As you mentioned, Johnson dropping back. Being chased, and he just misses completing it that time to Tilden. Has great pressure that time by West Deptford.
Well, Tilden does everything right there. He comes back for the football and not able to make the catch, but a good effort by number 4.
And that is the end of the first quarter in a very fast-played first 12 minutes. At the end of one, it's West Deptford 7, Paulsboro nothing. You're watching high school football on the Gloucester County Educational Network. And welcome back, and here's a look at Jimmy Owens once again, Shawn, on that 9-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, the combination here of just outstanding backs blocking for one another. You know, you look at all the weapons that West Deptford has, but blocking is very key in this offense, and the kids understand the role. That's
Greenwald,
a great kick.
Terrific punt that time. Did Scott touch that ball?
It looked like he did.
Paulsboro said he did. No, but they're saying he did not. That was very, very close.
From the angle that we had here in the press box, it looked like he tried to grab it. We're going to take a look at that one more time. But nice job by Greenwald to getting that punt off and getting a good kick. Let's see if Scott touches this. Nah, you know what? I don't think he did. I think he put his hand back in time and didn't grab onto the football. Close enough to give the West Deptford coaching staff a heart attack, but
44-yard punt for West Deptford. 1st and 10 from the 7. Owens is still running and bullying over tacklers.
On the carry.
Jimmy Owens gets across the 15-yard line, and that's vintage Jimmy Owens.
That's something that he's added through the years. Jimmy Owens, again, the track star, growing up, a kid that turned a lot of heads throughout his years as a young kid. A national name, even, Jimmy Owens, during his time running track. But what he's done, Mark, is he's put on weight, worked hard in the weight room, and become a complete player.
Measurement here is Owens gets has to get to about the 17. They're saying just short.
Still a big pickup on 1st down, so now you're going to have 2nd and short. This is a spot for Paulsboro, really, where they're going to have to dig in, give them the opportunity to get the ball back in good position.
Hey, one thing, this West Deptford offensive line has been firing out on the ball.
See West Deptford on the road, 3-0. Paulsboro 5-0. Something has to give.
Araldi, he has it easily that time, and he's tackled by McMullen.
1st and 10, West Deptford.
So West Deptford gets some needed breathing room after being pinned back in its area.
And Araldi came back after having an injury and out of a game earlier this year.
1st and 10, that was from the 23, Owens.
Owens on the carry.
I like what West Deptford's come out and done here, and they're really playing an up-tempo game, Mark. You know, they're not wasting a lot of time. They get the play called in the huddle, they break, and they immediately get to the line of scrimmage. I don't know if you're noticing what I'm noticing, but it's definitely they're not allowing Paulsboro to get set at all.
I'm noticing because it's harder to write everything down. Fearon, over the 50, 45, 40, inside the 40.
Good run by Fearon, again coming up the middle. And West Deptford right now having its way with that Paulsboro defensive line. Good blocking up front. Huge hole. You see everybody downfield, getting the blocks, doing an excellent job of springing Fearon. You seen Tom Jacobowski down blocking along with Andrew Corman, the tight end. It's not only the interior of the offensive line, but some guys on the outside picking up some big blocks as well.
Big tackle by Calvin Johnson. That was a gain of 34 yards, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the Paulsboro 40. Owens over the 35, inside to about the 33 as Tilden brings him down.
And I'll tell you, in a way, he kind of reminds me of Cordell Young for a reason that, you know, again, Cordell Young was a kid who came in, did a lot of blocking, was fearless for West Deptford, but really had that great speed, put on the weight, became a complete back. And that's what Jimmy Owens has been able to do here. You know, and the fact that he's been able to play other sports, Mark, there's a lot of people that always say, you know, why don't you concentrate in this sport or concentrate in that sport? You have Jimmy Owens, who used wrestling and has become a pretty good wrestler for West Deptford, a strong kid, being able to use that low center of gravity to improve on the football field. You combine that with already his development on the track, because, you know, he was a big-time track star growing up. And he's just become the complete player. And there's going to be some teams vying for his services very soon at the college level.
I don't think there's any question. By the way, as we have some time here, the referee today, Owen Morris, the umpire, Bob Eaton, the linesman, George Wagner, the line judge, Bob Sheeran, the back judge, Tim Atanasi, and the clock operator is Bruce Davidson.
Good group. Good group.
So we'll have a 2nd and 3 and a short 3 from the 33. There's a little pride in Paulsboro, huh? One of the great programs in any sport in South Jersey. And Glenn Howard, a record of 215 and 37. And I've said this often, he will certainly be considered one of the greatest of all time. Owens again. And Paulsboro sniffed it out. Casey Grimes leading the charge there. And he will not get the first down.
And for a lot of reasons, not just that winning record, Mark. And, you know, Glenn Howard is not only a terrific coach and being able to teach the kids the X's and O's, but he does a lot more than that. And he teaches them how to become men and become a classy person. And that's what his organization and this program typifies, is not only winning, but doing it the right way and doing it with class.
Well, we had some movement there that time, and looks like it's against Paulsboro, so that'll be a first down.
First down for the Eagles. 1st and 10 West Deptford at the Red Raider 28-yard line.
We'll call 1st and 10 from the 27. West Deptford very, very impressive here. You know, I saw the game last week against Haddonfield, and Haddonfield did just a tremendous job stopping the run. I mean, you know it's going to come at you. It's not that easy, though. Scott, another big gain that time, and he's near the first down marker, near the 15.
Zach Greenwald. First down, West Deptford, 1st and 10.
Right now, moving the ball effectively. I think this up-tempo is really throwing Paulsboro for a loop. You know, this is a team that goes, most kids go both ways.
Owens over the 15, inside to about the 14. It was 1st and 10 from the 16 that time. You're right, Shawn. You picked up on that, and it really has given them a boost here.
Well, if you think about it, Paulsboro is a team that's not going to shuffle as many people in and out as West Deptford's going to do, and you're going to have kids going both playing offense and defense. The more plays that they have, the more hits they're going to take, the more they're going to wear it down in a football game. That's just natural.
2nd and 8 from the 14. Fearon, and Fearon gets down to about the 10-yard line. He looked like he had some steam getting up there. Good job by McMullen on the tackle.
Right now, again, West Deptford shuffling people in and out, getting the play called quickly and moving up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry, getting the play off in very little time whatsoever, and that's wearing on Paulsboro. They're going to call timeout, looks like, just to get a hold of their bearings. Good timeout from Paulsboro, and it's just not allowing them to really even think about what they're doing on the defensive side of the football.
Second timeout for Paulsboro. We'll take 1-2. West Deptford 7, Paulsboro nothing. Third and 3, and it's Scott. Scott to the outside. Vaughn Scott in for the touchdown, 9 yards. And West Deptford now leads at 13-0. The second 9-yard touchdown run by West Deptford.
All those runs inside takes its toll on Paulsboro. You have the defensive ends kind of cheating inside. You have the linebackers cheating in, corners cheating in. Nobody outside to stop Vaughn Scott from getting into the end zone. And just a heck of a drive from West Deptford, starting at their own 5 or 6 yard line, Mark. That was a heck of a march by the Eagles. The big run by Fearon, setting up the touchdown. The Eagle with a lot of reason to celebrate on the opposite sideline of the Paulsboro Red Raiders.
Shawn, that was a 10-play, 93-yard drive by West Deptford, all on the ground. Here it is.
Watch everything sucked in here for Paulsboro. Once the corner comes in, it doesn't make the play. You have the defensive end on the outside getting blocked, and then there's nobody on the outside for Paulsboro. An easy touchdown for Vaughn Scott.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you've seen that replay, you saw that Owens got just enough of number 2, Deontay Davis, just in the way enough. And Scott has a gear that can get to the outside. That's an outstanding play by West Deptford.
In high school football, you have to be able to funnel everything to the inside, and if you don't, you're in trouble. There's so many good backs that can turn the corner on you and get points, and you need to be able to rely on the inside presence of your linebackers to make plays. 9 plays, 93 yards, as Mark had mentioned. 9-yard touchdown run from Vaughn Scott. I believe you had it with 10 plays, though, right?
I did, but Scott came into today 790 yards and 13 touchdowns.
Talk about compliments. I mean, we mentioned Thomasitis in the open. Vaughn Scott, another compliment to Jimmy Owens. And again, some of these kids can go on and become featured backs in some of the other Colonial Conference schools. Vaughn Scott's certainly one of those type players. Brings an incredible amount of depth to this West Deptford squad. Great offensive line in front of him, and been able to score 14 times now in the season.
Terrence Downs from the 10. And another great job of kickoff coverage by West Deptford. Andrew Corman, number 82, one of the guys in there as well. So Paulsboro certainly has its work cut out for it. 1st and 10 from the 24.
It's you're going into these games, Mark, and there's some great rivalries on Thanksgiving, but you always have to wonder when you have these two great teams playing one another. We had the Williamstown-Delsea game here on the GCEN, and you always wonder if one team has a little bit more to play for than the team that'll be playing the following week, and how that sets in the minds of the players and the coaching staff. I know you don't want to say it. You don't want to say, hey, listen, it's another game that we're going to get geared up for and try to win. But it always creeps into your mind, how focused can a team be when they're playing for a South Jersey title the following week? I know that fans and some other people have mentioned that Paulsboro, West Deptford would say that they have have as much going for them going into a West Deptford Paulsboro game than they would for a final.
There you see the temperature here, and it's very windy. By the way, that drive started at the 19, not the 24. It was a gain of 6. So 2nd and 6 from the 23-yard line. Johnson on the option to Tilden. Tilden, he has the first down, and he's got more. Tilden across midfield. Oh, Oh, and he's just tackled there on a touchdown saving tackle by Jason Fox.
Yeah, Jason Fox, defensive back, 5'11", 180-pound junior, is going to make this play. Otherwise, Tilden is off to the races. Again, great job by Johnson. Good job by blocking on the outside. Look at Grimes there, the tight end, throwing the block. And Fox going to chase down Tilden from the backside, just get a piece of him and negate the touchdown. But what incredible speed on the outside that we see from Tilden, and the good blocking from Paulsboro. Make no mistake, this is a Red Raider team that is not going to get down by 2 touchdowns and pack it in.
38-yard gain. It's 1st and 10 from the West Deptford 39. Johnson.
He's got him.
Back to pass, and he is Downs. He's wide open. Downs. Touchdown. 39 yards from Kevin Johnson.
Wide open. Somebody missed their assignment there because Terrence Downs had nobody within 10 to 15 yards of him. And Johnson with a great play fake and just throws it up into the wind. Allows Tilden to run under it, and an easy 6 for Paulsboro. 2 plays back to back. Gets the Red Raiders back into the game.
So freshman Mike Macarone here for the conversion kick. 6:45 left here in what has been a very, very lively first half. Paulsboro was short a man on the field. There you see Grimes coming in. Shawn McLean, the holder, does a good job, and the kick is good. So Paulsboro has cut the lead in half on the 39-yard touchdown reception by Terrence Downs.
That was set up with a beautiful play fake by Kevin Johnson. Watch this one here. He's able to step back. Tilden does a good job of selling that as well, as he stays in the backfield, doesn't run through that play fake, and that's important because that's going to freeze everybody. And then double ones, Terrence Downs does his job of being able to get open, but the job done by Tilden, you know, on the play fake, Mark, it's not just the quarterback that has to sell it, it's also the running backs. And Tilden, what he does is stay back enough time where you're going to freeze the linebackers, freeze the safety. You have an open man downfield. Execution perfect for the Red Raiders on that play.
By the way, that was a 3-play, 81-yard drive. By Paulsboro, and that was Downs' first touchdown reception of the season.
Comes at a good time.
You know, Downs came into the game, 14 receptions, 219 yards. Also, as we saw him in special teams, the return man. So Casey Grimes will tee it up here. We have a ball game. Not that we should be surprised with these two.
Yeah, see, you're going to have a problem kicking off today going in this direction. That's going to get out of bounds, and you see that typically when you're getting into the wind here. Grimes with that straight ahead style of kicking.
I'll tell you what.
Going old school.
Tyree Ellis almost got to that ball.
Yeah, it was good
too.
effort by Ellis. You're right. Got to point that out. A nice individual effort, not able to get to it, but trying to get down there and make a play for his team. Was Ellis not able to do so? But you see that when you're kicking into the wind, it usually you get that funky spin, Mark. And a lot of times that ball will travel out of bounds. But it's also difficult for the receiving team as well, because if you're not paying attention, with that wind blowing at your back, you can get an onside kick, as Paulsboro had a chance to recover that one.
A lot of motion. Jacobowski there as he goes in the slot. Owens, he's got the first down as he's taken out by Kevin Johnson that time.
Yeah, and Shawn McLean's going to overplay that one a little bit. He's going to go to the outside. He's going to try to turn it up there. But you see West Deptford sniffing that out, and Jimmy Owens being able to cut upfield. No one there to stop Jimmy Owens from getting the first down.
Gain of 13 that time, so it'll be 1st and 10 from its own 48, West Deptford, and the Eagles have continued to move the ball on the ground. There's a lot of movement here. And
well, you're gonna have West Deptford, Jason Fox coming up to the line of scrimmage, and you can see clearly from our vantage point that he was over the line.
Legal procedure, offense.
So it'll be 1st and 15 from the 43 for West Deptford. 6:35 left in the first half. The Eagles leading Paulsboro 14-7. Of course, West Deptford has clinched the Colonial Conference Liberty Division title. Paulsboro finished second this year to a
That's
team
right.
that'll have will try to get some revenge on Woodbury next week.
What's
There's
interesting about that game, Mark, is Paulsboro outgained Woodbury by 200 yards, but still ended up losing by 2 touchdowns. And surprisingly, it was special teams that really let the Red Raiders down, that they didn't have a real good game there. They made mistakes, which you don't typically see from a Paulsboro team, and that's going to happen from time to time. This Paulsboro squad did not know how to react to it. They gave up 28 points to Woodbury, a couple of big plays from the Thundering Herd as well.
Gain of 4, so that'll be 2nd and 11 from the 47. Reverse this time, Scott, and that is smelled out by Grimes. Casey Grimes with an outstanding tackle and a big loss down near about the 36, 37-yard line.
Great anticipation by Grimes, knowing Scott's going to try to get to the outside and go backward instead of cutting it back in. Watch Scott here. Scott has the option to either go further in the backfield to get away from Grimes, as he sees him. Right there, he sees him. He goes to the outside. Grimes continues upfield. Slings him down for a huge loss.
Loss of 9. It's 3rd and 20. Fearon. And he won't get very much there as the Paulsboro defense stiffened that time, and a nice job by Mike Healy, number 55.
Yeah, the senior, 5'10", 205 pounds. Again, 5 tackles against Glassboro in the semifinal game, along with Nick Curl, the defensive line, owning that semifinal game, accounting for 10 tackles between those two guys, and a nice play there by double fives is going to give Paulsboro the chance to get the ball back here with Kevin Johnson deep.
Ben Cornelius in the punt. As we said, he's one of the best dual kickers you'll find in South Jersey. Oh, and again, Downs almost got a piece of that. Wow, there's a flag on the play right now, and I'm wondering if they're going to call roughing the kicker.
This will be a big call here.
Roughing the kicker goes against the Raiders.
Take a look, see if he got him here after the kick. Can't see really from that angle if he got him or not, but certainly the referee thinks so, and it's going to be declined. Paulsboro will get the football back. It's only a 5-yard penalty for running
into the
kicker. So Red Raiders take over. West Deptford declines the penalty after the good kick by Cornelius. No harm. For some Paulsboro fans, they weren't sure if it was a foul.
Let's make some noise for our Red Raider offense.
1st and 10 from the 19, and I'll tell you, Downs got awfully close to blocking that punt.
Good effort by Downs. You like the aggressiveness. But also, when you have a 4th and long, you got to be real careful.
Little struggle on the handoff that time, and Johnson's going nowhere. Nowhere. As there you saw big number 77, Jameel Pollard, 6'5", 270-pound sophomore. No gain that time, so it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 19.
You think some colleges will be looking for his services. When you look at a guy who's 6'5", 270, Mark, that plays along the line as a sophomore, you expect Pollard to only get better. And you know colleges will be looking at that size, that type of player. and be very interested in him furthering his career.
Not only that, Shawn, you look at his frame, and it looks like he can actually put a lot more on, and he's got some really good quickness there. 2nd and 10 from the 19. Johnson, play action. Over the middle of the Grimes, a leaping catch, and he gets down near the 40-yard line.
Perfectly executed from the quarterback and the tight end. Grimes, watch again, good pass protection. Johnson, great form, able to step into the throw, and Grimes goes up and gets the football. Nicely done by the tight end for Paulsboro. Again, Grimes is a name that we have called through the years. A real good football player here, and developed into a nice tight end for Paulsboro in the middle of the field, a threat.
21-yard gain that time. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 40 for the Red Raiders. Johnson again on play action. And he's got McLean wide open, 40, 30, 25. Demositis doesn't get him, and he's in for the touchdown. Shawn McLean, a 60-yard touchdown reception for the Red Raiders.
How about Shawn McLean, 6'3", 190 pounds, throws a stiff arm on Demositis and just willing himself into the end zone. I mean, that way he just wouldn't be denied. Would not be denied. McLean has had a couple of good games now, back-to-back. Had a good game against Glassboro, and an outstanding job with a stiff arm. Is again, the play fake works for Paulsboro, freezes the secondary, and if there's been one spot over the years that has hurt West Deptford, is they sell out on the run, and you can beat them a little bit in the pass.
20th attempt is up, and
Macaron on the kick, and we have a tie game.
2 to play in the first half.
It wasn't looking good for a period of time for Paulsboro. West Deptford driving the ball 93 yards for its 2nd touchdown, and things were not looking good for the Red Raider fans. But this has been turned around quickly with a couple of big plays on the arm of Kevin Johnson. Watch the stiff arm here. Bang, look at that.
Clear so people can see.
Using that big frame to ward off the tackler, and that is a terrific play from the wide receiver. Again, 6'3", a good frame for Paulsboro, a senior on senior day here. That's just as nicely done as you can do it, Mark. I mean, a great play by Johnson on 2 consecutive passes into the win, I may add.
And a great job, remember, by Grimes on that 21-yard reception, because he had to jump high to get that. So 3 plays, 81 yards, and we have a tie game here. And as we mentioned, as we were coming on the air, no conference ramifications, certainly no postseason ramifications. You wouldn't know by the way these two are going at it.
Both teams trying to get to the double digits in wins this year at 9-1 apiece. And again, like you say, it's a pride factor into this game. Once you start it, the kickoff happens. You know, it doesn't matter what you're doing next week. It doesn't matter what you did last week. These two teams get after one another. Both teams, I'm sure, practice extremely well. They know each other. The coaching staffs know one another. The kids know one another. And you expect an exciting game.
So it'll be Grimes on the kickoff.
What a kick.
Wow. Casey Grimes has done an outstanding job here.
That wind has moved basically from West Deptford's side of the field, blowing toward the Paulsboro sideline. So it's changed a little bit. It's not actually in the faces of Paulsboro at this particular point.
So West Deptford 1st and 10 from its own 20-yard line. 3:02 left here in the first half of a tie score. Owen, oh, no, it's Fearon. Fearon gets to the outside. Fearon spinning off. He has the first down, and Rob Fearon running hard to about the 35-yard line.
And what a terrific job pulling off the offensive line. Looked like that might have been Cody Mraz, the left guard. Has a terrific block again downfield. Again, talk about some of these terrific linemen for West Deptford. always trying to finish the play off.
Owens.
Jimmy Owens.
And he'll get a few. He'll get near the 40, maybe to about the 38. Still plenty of time here for West Deptford. And that was a gain of 3, so it'll be 2nd and 7 from the 38 for West Deptford.
Eric McMullen, the sophomore. We're talking about some sophomores. He's another good one in this Colonial Conference, one of the better athletes in the conference.
That's Scott, and he gets the ball over the 40-yard line. It'll be a big 3rd down play as they spot it at about the 42. So it'll be 3rd and long 3.
1:53 remaining in this first half.
Oh, that time there was a little bit of a stumble as going into motion was 82, Andrew Corman.
God damn it.
See, it looked like Eric McMullen injured his arm on that play, made the tackle.
Offense, 3rd down.
On the previous play, and he's in some pain on the sideline. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to come back in the game. It looks like he might have been
3rd and 8.
injured, already filling in for Maurice Lee.
The 3rd and 8 from the 37 now for the Eagles. Araldi. Screen to Scott. Scott does not get the 1st down. Flag down at the end of the play that time.
Flags on the play.
I'll tell you what, for Paulsboro, 54 Karan Witsat really covered a lot of ground that time. We have a flag. We'll see what. It's a holding call on West Deptford.
Holding. Offense. Play 3rd down.
How many times we see a big play, or a big, a mistake from a team really stymie a drive now? You only have 1:13 remaining in this first half. This may really hamper West Deptford's chances of trying to unlock this tie.
So the ball's now at the 30.
And remember, Paulsboro already using 2 timeouts, so although you're backing up West Deptford, not going to be able to stop the clock only one more time.
So it'll be 3rd and 15 from the 30. Fearon going through, and he's going to be well short. Does not even get back to
seconds to play in the first half.
the original line of
Raiders
scrimmage.
called timeout.
And Paulsboro will call a timeout here. Good clock management.
Irene and no, Jesse, you were
So it'll be 4th and about 8, Shawn, from the 37. That's a good timeout by Paulsboro.
Absolutely, you have to use it at that spot.
I'm sorry, the ball is at the 32-yard line.
You're going to give your team a chance and Kevin Johnson a chance. Try and return this punt. Right now, the
6 p.m. at the Municipal Building.
thoughts right now on the sideline of Paulsboro, because you have Eric McMullen, who is a really good-looking sophomore. I don't know if we're able to get a shot of him getting worked on, but you know, he's going to be sorely missed if he's not able to go for especially this game. But how about next week when you're seeing Paulsboro in the Group 1 championship against Woodbury? We'll have that here on the GCEN, barring a huge weather event, whether it be some rain or snow or sleet. So we're hoping that our weekends stay clear. Mark, hasn't been that way for most of the year.
Cornelius back to punt, and Paulsboro is sending everybody. Single safety is Johnson, but they're coming for the block. Gets it off in a nice kick that time, and Johnson will not field it. Very good punt coverage, Shawn. And how about Passetti?
1st and 10 from their own 30.
The big guy getting down there first.
40 seconds to
They're going to look at Eric McMullen. They're going to try to get some ice on that arm real quick. I want to speculate on what happened to him, but he may not be good news for Paulsboro fans, especially with Maurice Lee already out with an injury, and Lee a real good linebacker, and now you have a spot where you may lose McMullen, who was filling in for Lee, and now you're really starting to scrape.
So with just 40.9 seconds left here in the first half, Paulsboro with a 1st and 10 from its 32. See how the Red Raiders attack it. Johnson has all day, and Johnson will scramble out as he was chased that time by number 6, Carone Maxwell.
Johnson on the carry. We bring up 2nd.
Good decision by Johnson. Nowhere to go with the football. Not going to force it into
To play in the first.
Gained
West
about,
Deptford. Yeah.
about
Mark.
And
5.
at the conclusion of
You're not going to
today's
force that into the West Deptford secondary and end up getting a mistake here. You came back, worked hard to tie. You want to go into the locker room at least knotted at 14.
2nd and 5 from the 37. Kevin Johnson been very effective, especially here in this second quarter. Draw. Tilden has the first down. He's over the 50. Inside the 45 as he's tackled that time by number 33, Dan Short.
And the clock stops with the first down. So 25.4 remaining.
in the first half.
Paulsboro trying to get the play in quick enough to be able to run.
Ball's at the 42 of West Deptford. 21-yard gain that time. Johnson back. He's
Good
looking
pass.
for Downs, and Downs gets out of bounds. 15.6 seconds left here as they get another first down for Paulsboro.
We have to know they're going to probably go for a sideline route over the middle of the field. So with that clock stopping after a first down, they can work the middle of the field. That spreads everything out at the high school and collegiate levels. Still 15.6 remaining.
13-yard gain. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 29. Johnson scrambles. Oh, and he finds Tilden right there, and he's hit, and he bounces off, and he's still there inside the 10-yard line. 4 seconds, 3.6. Paulsboro calls a timeout.
3.6 seconds.
They don't have timeouts, Mark.
Oh, the ball, I'm sorry, timeout
Ball
for the
stops
first
on the
down.
first downs.
They'll have to spike this ball here once they get set up.
Reset the clock to 8 seconds.
Reset the clock.
They're
to
resetting the
8
clock
seconds.
here now.
Macaron was warming up for an attempt and possibly a field goal if he gets that opportunity.
Well, the ball's at the 19-yard line.
They might use Grimes. Grimes going to get ready here, change his shoes. I don't know if we get a shot of him on the sideline changing his shoe, but he's on the bench right now trying to get his kicking shoe on. See Clyde Folsom wondering why.
Now they've
was given
reset the
extra
clock to 8 seconds.
Clock has been set to 8 seconds.
Johnson spikes it.
4.6 seconds.
4.6 seconds remaining. There you see Grimes trying to get his kicking shoe on. I'll tell you what, he's got the leg for it. He's going to have to aim for the left upright and have it draw back in because of the wind.
It'll be about a 36-yard field goal attempt. Actually, they're lining up on the 35 right there. McLean, the holder.
J.C. Grimes.
And now Paulsboro gets another blocker in there.
The kick is up and
the kick is wide right.
no good. And
But
that's the end
Paulsboro
of
made a
first
run
half.
at it as
With the
Paulsboro's
score.
really had a strong second quarter, scoring 2 touchdowns here. We're at halftime. It's Paulsboro 14, West Deptford 14 here on the Gloucester County Educational Network. welcome back. Marc Narducci along with Shawn Leary as we have a 14-14 first half score. And Shawn, look at the stats, and the big one there is the passing yardage.
Absolutely, that's the difference in the game. Kevin Johnson being able to put the ball and move it through the air, accounting for 248 yards for the Red Raiders, only 112 for West Deptford. Most of that, pretty much all of it, coming on the ground. First downs, pretty even. Turnovers, been a pretty clean game. A couple of penalties for the Eagles, but Kevin Johnson, 7 for 10, 155 yards, 2 touchdown passes. He has been the difference over the last couple of weeks for his Paulsboro football team, including the playoff game against Glassboro, where he was outstanding in that first half, getting Paulsboro out to a huge lead. They eventually win the game 35-0 to get into the Group 1 final against Woodbury next week, but they have unfinished business to do here. Second half, we have a good one, Mark, tied up at 14.
Cornelius will kick it off. And Tilden on the outside there, and he's got some running room, and he gets it out to the 45 as he's tackled by Vaughn Scott.
To the 45-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, the momentum was on the West Deptford sideline big time after the 93-yard drive that they put together to go up by 2 scores. But Kevin Johnson erased that and turned it completely around with a couple of big plays, including a nice run by Aaron Tilden that set up the big touchdown pass to Downs.
So Paulsboro 1st and 10 from its 45, and there's Greenwood, and that's his first carry of the day.
They're going to try to feed the big fella here in the second half, get him some touches.
He'll get 3 yards on that. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the 48.
At their own 48-yard line.
Zach Greenwald, a very highly talented player, being recruited more on the defensive side of the ball.
Already holds the record for tackles here at Paulsboro. Pretty impressive, Mark.
Tilden, quick hitter, he's got the first down. And it still had more, and hanging on for dear life was Jason Fox, who has made a number of key tackles as Tilden gets inside the 40 to the 39 of Paulsboro.
Yeah, you see curl block.
West Deptford.
You see curl block in there. Good job by the right side of that line. Scope doing a nice job of getting a hat on somebody, and Tilden does the rest. And this has been a nice effort from the Paulsboro offensive and defensive line. After in the beginning of the game, they were struggling a bit.
Gain of 13, and Tilden, by the way, had 9 carries for 85 yards in the first half. So it's 1st and 10 from the West Deptford 39. Play action. Johnson freezes everybody. That was a dangerous pass right there, incomplete to Greenwald, and Araldi came up on the coverage for West Deptford.
But you see how teams are afraid to commit to Johnson because he's such a great athlete, Mark, and you're almost afraid to sell out and try to go in and tackle him because you're concerned whether he's going to get to the outside and beat you with his legs as well. So teams kind of freeze, like you mentioned, basically freeze in their tracks and just want to try to contain Johnson. And now what he's been able to do is he's been able to throw over the top. That's something that he's improved and worked on coming back from the bad thigh injury last year. He has done a nice job.
Kyrie Victor into the game. He split wide right for the Red Raiders. Johnson, and he is leveled that time by Jordan Haynes, number 83. Back to midfield.
Yeah, Jordan Haynes. And how about the good hustle and good work by Mike Pacitti? Watch Pacitti kind of bump Scope out of the way here to get the football. You have the big rush from the backside, and watch, see the nice bump there by Pacitti to make sure that he falls on the football. Good job by number 73 of West Deptford to ensure that he gains possession for the Eagles.
Loss of 12 on the play. It'll be a 3rd and 22 from Paulsboro's own 49-yard.
The ball comes out. I guess they're calling him down. That ball was clearly out.
Clearly out. Look at that.
I'm sitting here watching the television, Mark, and I'm just finding out it's still Paulsboro football. Is that right? No, it is West Deptford football.
Now they
okay.
are saying West Deptford, so they've made the change there.
Regardless of what happened, the right call was made. The ball was out before Johnson's knee came to the ground. So, you know, the call is going to go to West Deptford.
First and 10, West Deptford.
I don't know if you can hear Coach Farrell in the background here. Good point. He's saying just line up. They're not going to change it. Let's see now how Paulsboro reacts. Again, now they're down to their third string linebacker as Eric McMullen, and word has it that he has a strained ligament, so that might be better news than what was initially thought, at least up here in the booth.
Looks like Tyree Ellis is in there. Vaughn Scott will gain just a couple as West Deptford had it first and 10 from the 49 of Paulsboro.
This is a big spot for Ellis to be able to come in here and try to contribute to this team. Tyree Ellis played in 9 games this year. A couple of tackles.
There's a gain of 3, so it's 2nd and 7 from the 46. Owens. And Owens gets the first down for the Eagles.
That's the definition right there, running downhill. You know, the entire West Deptford team out in front blocking and getting a great push on the left side of that defensive line for Paulsboro and able to pick up the first down. Now Paulsboro trying to rotate some players in and out. Remember, West Deptford went to that sort of makeshift hurry-up.
That was a gain of 9, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 37. Owens, 14 carries, 67 yards in the first half. Owens again. Owens has another first down, and he's taken down by McLean that time, but not before getting down close to the 25, make it about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, nice attempt that time. It looked like it was Austin M. He wasn't able to get the tackle, good penetration, but just wasn't able to finish on the play. Pasiti with a good block trying to negate Austin from getting in and making the play behind the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10, Scott over the 25 to 20, and he has running room and the ball's loose. The Red Raiders, no indication yet. It's still West Deptford ball.
Yeah, that time Paulsboro's going to come from blitz from the left side, and they get caught there where, you know, West Deptford's going to run left. Oh, excuse me, coming from the right side. You're going to get a flag down, so it's unsportsmanlike, probably against Paulsboro. There's only Paulsboro kids around the right around the official there.
Well, the ball's right around the 10 now, and as you mentioned, Shawn, there's an unsportsmanlike contact. So that should bring the ball half the distance.
Paulsboro's going to make some changes here.
First and goal for the Eagles at the Red Raider.
They're going to go to their big package now where they get some of the thick bodies in, take some of the safeties out. Into the game comes Karan Whitsett.
1st and goal from the 5-yard line. 14-14 here in the 3rd quarter. Owens is barreling along there. He's close to the goal line.
Close. I don't think he got in there. He got a good look there from our sideline camera. But West Deptford knocking on the door. One of the methodical West Deptford drives where they're just going to play power football. Run a ton of counters, a couple of sweeps. Getting the ball in their big players' hands. Expect to see Jimmy Owens touching the football around this area.
2nd and goal from the 1. Owens. And he's in. Jimmy Owens with the 1-yard run, and West Deptford regains the lead.
Going over the left side of that offensive line, a big offensive line, and they're able to power it in with Jimmy Owens. Again, the Eagle running along the sideline, excited about West Deptford getting back up front. Ahead of Paulsboro now by 6.
For Owens, his second touchdown of the game, 27th rushing touchdown of the season. Oh, and it's blocked. Tilden on the block that time, as it was a high snap, and Aaron Tilden got in there.
Raiders 20, Paulsboro Red Raiders 14. 7:09 to play in the third quarter.
Aaron Tilden with the block, and that could be big. But watch the play here. He just gets the handoff into the belly of Owens. And Aaron Tilden, although he comes up with a block, kind of trying to shake something off here. Either it's his arm or his shoulder. Let's watch this block. Good effort by Tilden. This is just straight desire from Tilden, as he's going to get that ball kind of under his bicep. That kind of stings a little bit. You just got to shake that off, though.
Well, we wonder, though, Shawn, that's an interesting point about shaking it off, because he has been returning kicks and he's not out there right now.
But now you have, looks like you have Tyree Ellis getting an opportunity to play on defense. He's back deep.
Also, Terrence Downs.
Terrence Downs, who had the touchdown in the first half. Terrence Downs really started the game off nicely for Paulsboro against Glassboro in the semifinal, Mark. If you remember that big kickoff return, kind of started that onslaught of that Paulsboro Red Raider fury against the Bulldogs. Kick.
Ellis goes back into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. By the way, 6-play, 49-yard drive, culminated by the Owens 1-yard touchdown run.
Get a chance to see the Delsey-Williamstown game. It was a good one with Williamstown feeding the Crusaders. Heck of a game, though. You're going to be shown on Tuesday and Thursday. Saturday, noon and 8.
I'll tell you, Shawn, I thought Delsey early on really was taking it to Williamstown. And Williamstown, showed me a lot by coming back. They had that fumble at the 4-yard line. Delsey converted, and they just never lost their composure.
Well, the one thing that they were able to do, and you're kind of seeing that a little bit in this game, Mark, was they had a better balance. And McCarty was able to throw the ball into the wind for Williamstown. Delsey didn't have much of a pass game to start with. A team that predominantly keeps it on the ground. And Jackson has that nice touch pass usually, but the fact is he was trying to throw the ball with that wind. It was difficult for him, and McCarty gave the team a little bit better balance through the air. Jackson does a little bit better with his legs, but it just worked in favor for Williamstown, and they were hungry for that victory. They get it.
Ellis is a tailback. He came into today with 195 yards rushing and 1 touchdown on 43 carries. Johnson scrambling. Johnson running toward, he has the first down and more. Kevin Johnson still on his feet as he gets near the 45-yard line.
I remember hearing Kevin Johnson coming up through the Tri-County Midget Football League, the youth football. We'd write his name in the paper every single week of having outstanding games, and it's because of this, just his elusiveness, being able to see the field. And watch how he just freezes people. It seems like he's just jogging along right here. He doesn't know, and he just freezes everybody just because of his ability to cut back, little shimmy and shake, and picks up an extra 3 or 4 yards. And he gives that defensive backs nightmares when he gets through that linebacking court.
1st and 10 from the 44. That was a 23-yard gain. Ellis going to the outside, and he's tackled that time by Scott over the 45 to about the 46.
And Rob Maxwell also converging on that play, nowhere to go. Good job by that defensive squad of West Deptford, able to string that out, make the tackle, and now Ellis going to come back into the game.
Make it a gain of 3, so it'll be 2nd and 7 from the 47-yard line. So I'll tell you what, if you're Paulsboro, you have a game next week with Woodbury, and right now you've lost Tilden and McMullen to injuries. So Yeah, I mean, the Paulsboro fans obviously hoping that both will be able to return. Don't know the status yet of Tilden for this game. Johnson going deep. He has McLean, and McLean makes the catch, and there's a penalty flag down. It looks like pass interference. That would be declined, as Fearon was there on the coverage, and great concentration by Shawn McLean.
How about the pass? You get the good protection up front, lost it in the air, but Shawn McLean has turned into an incredible weapon on the outside for Paulsboro, really balancing this team out. 6'3" frame.
Defense. Penalties decline.
Gives you that option of being able to go up over the top of teams, and that's something Woodbury's going to have to worry about next week. Watch this pass from Johnson. Not the biggest guy on the field, but certainly has that big arm, a little flick of the wrist, and he can shoot it out there. Lofts it up, allowing McLean to run underneath of it. Good concentration, able to come down with a football is the senior.
Ball's about the 8. First and goal for the Red Raiders.
Great penetration by R.J. Falls.
Absolutely, as Johnson is leveled for a loss.
Well, they like him in that nose guard position, Mark, and a lot of teams will do this now. 6'2", 200 pounds, but why they put him at that nose guard instead of one of the big fellas is they love the speed underneath center. And you're seeing that from a lot of teams. Remember years, a little guy named Higgins playing for Gloucester Catholic, Mark. He about 5'4", about 140 pounds playing nose guard because you can get that penetration, the speed off the center, beat him off the snap. And R.J. Falls does that exact same thing on this particular play. He's able to get into the backfield and get the tackle for a loss.
Second and goal from about the 11-yard line. Johnson has plenty of time, and he was looking for Greenwald, throws it short, but Scott was right there on the coverage as well.
See Paulsboro, again, the balance. Being able to combine the pass with the run. Tilden back in now, Mark. And, you know, how about Tyree Ellis? You know, you're sitting there, you're not sure what your role is going to be for the game. Little special teams, maybe get a spot here, a spot there. You have the starting linebacker go down. You have to come in and replace him. And then Tilden gets injured, and you're then playing running back as well. So you never know when your number's going to be called.
So with a timeout here on the field, the score, West Deptford 20, Paulsboro 14. You're watching high school football on the Gloucester County Educational Network. And welcome back. There you see your score here. West Deptford leading, third and goal from the 11 for Paulsboro. Johnson again has the time and throws it short that time as McLean was well covered. But now, Shawn, what do you do here? Fourth and goal from the 11. You're looking at about a 28-yard field goal attempt. It doesn't look like Paulsboro is going to go that route.
No, it doesn't. And I'm a little bit surprised. I thought maybe they'd try the field goal here. Again, you have to aim for that right upright and let it draw back in. But you have a chance to get some points on the board. It's going to be tough to be able to pick this up, but you got to like your chances with Johnson, the way he's been able to pass the ball.
Tilden, the deep back, and Tilden gets it, and he's going to throw the ball. Aaron Tilden to Grimes. Touchdown! 11 yards, Aaron Tilden on the halfback option to Casey Grimes, and we have a tie score.
Great play call by Paulsboro. Trying to get a little sneaky here on fourth down and able to do so. And, great route run by Grimes. Able to get to the outside and get himself open beyond the pylon. And Tilden doesn't hesitate to be able to put that pass together. Man, it was perfectly executed by the Red Raiders. Now a huge extra point coming up for the freshman.
Defense, go for 2.
Now that'll be an interesting, if this is against West Deptford, it'll be interesting if Paulsboro elects to go for 2.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense.
Call will go against the Eagles.
Actually, I think this is a good move. I mean,
So do I.
the score's tied. You want to get the lead here. And Macaron, the freshman.
Good.
And it's good. So Paulsboro has now taken the lead with 3:31 left here in the third quarter.
Again, here, watch the play. Going to be quick pitch to Tilden, and no hesitation from Tilden. Allows Grimes to get to the corner, and a pass right on the numbers, and a great route run by Casey Grimes, giving Paulsboro the 1-point advantage in the block by Tilden.
Boy, did you see that? That was a great replay, Shawn, because it showed that Dan Short, number 33 for West Deptford, almost got there. I mean, that had to be a perfectly thrown pass by Tilden. And what Tilden did that was really impressive, he didn't give it away. A lot of times when the halfback option, right away they give it away and you see it. But he sold that. A tremendous job.
Yeah, Paulsboro really works on the play fake, Mark. And again, like we talked about, not only the quarterback has to do the job to be able to get a good play fake, but also the running back has to do the good job, and the offensive line. And Paulsboro works on all the details in the game. That's why you really find the difference between Paulsboro and some of the other Colonial Conference and Group 1 programs is in the details. You know, there's plenty of athletes out there and at some of the different schools in Group 1, but Paulsboro sets itself apart from everyone else for that reason.
Now Casey Grimes will kick it off, and Jason Fox is one of the deep men along with Vaughn Scott and Fearon.
Number 29, Rock Fearon.
And that one's going out of bounds, so
Chappie could have returned that one, at least call fair catch.
I don't think Chappie wanted any part of that, to be honest with you.
You'd be surprised. Chappie moves pretty good for a portly fella.
Scott Chapelier, we're referring to, the Gloucester County Times, does an outstanding job. I'm jealous because he is, there he is. He doesn't want to get his, he's reluctant there.
You can see Scott does an excellent job with covering football in the area. He's on the high school sports report every Wednesday and Thursday evening.
Scott, going around, will get a gain of about 6 yards on first down.
You could also see the high school sports report now on NJ.com. Also now in the southern end of the county. Franklin Township. Show's really grown over the last year. We weren't sure if we were going to have it all, Mark. Now it's...
Yeah, nice job. That's a good job.
It's really spread its wings.
Great exposure for the high schools. Owens, he'll have the first down.
That might get called back.
As we do have a flag on the play.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold against West Deptford. And again, the mistakes that can kill drives. And when coaches say that in the beginning of a game.
Now it looks like the penalty was around the 44-yard line, so Owens will get a gain of about 3 yards on that. They should bring it back down to the 34, right, which would make it a second and 11.
Yeah, about that. It's going to be about a
Their own 34-yard line.
second 12, maybe, Mark?
Yeah. They actually sometimes these spots, so we'll call it second and 12 from the 33. Again, West Deptford completed just one pass in the first down, 1 for 2 for just 3 yards. Scott Great tackle by Tilden, and if there are any questions about Tilden, first he comes back in the game and throws the option pass, and then he makes a great tackle on that play.
We featured him in the open, and he hasn't disappointed us, Mark. He's made some excellent plays in the second half. The block kick, and he comes down, throws the touchdown pass, and a good tackle that's going to set up a 3rd and long. Make it difficult for West Deptford to move the chains in a game where they're down. Every possession counts here. 2 minutes left in the third.
3rd and 14 from the 31-yard line for the Eagles. Scott in motion, Araldi being chased by Grimes, and he just throws that away.
Nowhere to go with the football that time. I mean, Casey Grimes was closing in a hurry, and Araldi's just going to get rid of the football, and now West Deptford forced to kick it away. Importantly for West Deptford here is not only to get a good punt underway, but remember, Kevin Johnson back waiting the kick.
I'm not sure I punt it to him. I might look to punt it out of bounds or something. But that's an excellent job. That is an excellent job, kicked away from him. Oh, Johnson picked it up, and lucky he didn't fumble at that time. He was a little casual with that, and very good coverage by West Deptford down there, 68, Cody Mraz.
As an athlete, you just really have to respect what Kevin Johnson does. He just seems to own the spotlight, demand it, and thrives in that position. We've seen him on the basketball court take over games. We've seen him on the football field take over games, and it's against the better competition is where he seems to do his best. And again, that deep thigh bruise that he had last year, Mark, it was almost the definition of a nagging injury. He just could not shake that. Kept him out for pretty much all of the season, I believe into the basketball season, but he has come back this year. A little bit of vengeance and a chip on the shoulder.
1st and 10 from the 25. Flag on the play as Tilden gets the first down, but this one may be coming back as Tilden gets out to about the 48-yard line, but hold it up.
Yeah, drive stallers, these penalties, and it's hard. It's just so hard to overcome. A penalty when you're backed up 10 yards. It's hard to get a first down as is at any level, but then when you back teams up an extra 10.
Holding, offense, replay first down.
Odds are not in your favor. Look like got one of the offensive linemen directly related to the play. I mean, you could call holding basically on every single play, Mark. But when it directly involves the play, when you have the running back going through the hole that the hold caused, you're going to get the penalty.
A gain of 1 on that play, and then they went to 10 back, so it'll be 1st and 19 from the 16 for the Red Raiders. Johnson, great job, play action. Oh, and he was looking for the screen for Tilden, and what Paulsboro had to worry about was that being a lateral.
Right, well, Johnson's able to drop back far enough where he's not going to put himself in that position. But Tilden just getting tripped up, like by the 5-yard line.
You touched on this, Shawn, and you're right. Johnson does play action about as well as anybody I've seen this year in South Jersey.
And it only works if you're running the football effectively.
Sure.
And if the running backs are selling it well enough, and they pretty much have it down to a science here.
2nd and 16. Again, Johnson looking for running room, and a nice job by West Deptford. The first guy to get there with the contain was Jordan Haynes as he forced him back in the middle there.
Well, Mark, not only do you have to worry about the play fake and him being able to throw the ball downfield, but then you're worried about him taking off with the football. So there's a ton of things you have to think about as a linebacker or a player in the secondary for West Deptford or any opposing team when he drops back. closing seconds here of the third quarter. Paulsboro taking a lot of time here. They're going to be careful.
3rd and 15 for the Red Raiders. Johnson getting some pressure. Complete that time to Tilden, as Tilden catches the ball at the 47-yard line.
That's going to do it for this quarter, but how about Kevin Johnson, Mark? I mean, he just continues to make play after play. You have faced with a 2nd and long, and look at this dart. Tilden coming back to the football, and a nice job by the Red Raiders. They're going to have the lead as they go into the 4th.
28-yard completion there, as Shawn mentioned. Paulsboro will enter the 4th quarter leading West Deptford 21-20. You're watching high school football here on the Gloucester County Educational Network. And welcome back here, as Paulsboro will have a 1st and 10 from its own 48-yard line here in the 4th quarter. Red Raiders up by 1. Johnson, complete to McLean again, right near the 1st down marker. We'll see where the spot is.
Yeah, he tried to run a play fake there. Johnson expecting Zach Greenwald to sell the fake for him, but looked like Zach might have went the wrong way, and Shawn McLean comes up anyway, hauls in the catch. And how about Shawn McLean, Mark? He's really a terrific target for Johnson.
1st down, that was a gain of 10. 1st and 10 from the 42 of West Deptford. Draw play, Tilden.
What a great job.
Just stopped right there up the middle. Tremendous job by number 82 for West Deptford, Andrew Corman, the 5'10", 195-pound senior.
Good job that time. Paulsboro's going to spread everybody out, try to open up the middle of the field, and allow that draw to work where you have your ball carrier with some space. And West Deptford doesn't even allow it to happen, because they're going to get excellent penetration at the point of attack and force a 2nd and long.
Loss of 3 that time, so it'll be 2nd and 13 from the West Deptford 45. Paulsboro leading 21-20. Johnson again, being chased. Johnson does not get the 1st down, but had a nice gain there. We'll see where they spot it.
Again, the ability for Johnson to be able to break out of the pocket and make plays scares defenses. You'll see backs, not only backers, but also the secondary players that just freeze. They have no idea whether they should come up, and they get completely nervous on what they're supposed to do on that, because Johnson can hurt you in so many ways.
That was a gain of 10 that time, so it'll be 3rd and 3 from the 35-yard line. And if you think Johnson scared him on the last play when it was almost a passing situation, what about now, a 3rd and 3? Johnson has Grimes, just did a quick looking route, and he'll get the 1st down as he's tackled that time by Jason Fox.
How many times do you see a team, Mark, in Group 1 being able to throw the football as much as Paulsboro does? It doesn't usually happen. But with the weapons that they have, with the offense that they have, and they have the ability to do it. I mean, even looking at West Deptford, a Group 2 team, they just don't have that skill set in the offense.
You know what's interesting too, I saw Paulsboro early in the year and against Haddon Heights, and the offense was pretty basic, but the history of this team is they put more and more in each week, and they get better as the season goes on. Ellis with a run, and he gets down near the 25-yard line.
Good tough run, but also terrific blocking by Scope. 7A, nice job on that outside, and Tyree Ellis, that's his number called. Nice run.
And that's a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 25-yard line. Kyrie Victor now into the game. He's out to the left. Split wide is McLean. Tilden, who fumbles the ball. Aaron Tilden got it back though, but he'll lose 5 on the play.
Well, I mean, you know, this is a spot where most teams you'd be in a heap of trouble here, but for Paulsboro and Johnson's ability to pass, you know, it might even open up the field a little bit for him in the middle at least, because you're going to have West Deptford with some room to work back there. You can send the wide receivers deep and open up anything inside, so you'll have the option to not only go to the outside, but you also can work the middle of the field.
So it'll be 3rd and 10 from the 30-yard line. Tilden is your deep back. Play action. Complete to Howard that time. Or Terrence Downs, excuse me, Terrence Downs.
And a
short of the first down.
Great stick by Jason Fox, Mark. You've called his name a couple of times today. Fox comes up and it doesn't allow any extra yardage. The junior to make it 4th and about 3 or 4 here, Mark.
Yep, 4th and about 3. That was a 7-yard gain.
Let's make some noise
from Downs. And if you're the West Deptford defense, under 8 minutes to go here, this is your game right here. In the shotgun, Johnson. Johnson with the short pass, complete. First down that time, and a nice grab by Kyrie Victor.
And Kyrie Victor's going to do a good job of not only being able to shed the tackle, but also get the extra yardage to pick up the first down. You're blocking on the outside, good throw. You see a couple of teammates helping out on the play, including Aaron Tilden. That's a big first down for Paulsboro. Again, with the strength of Johnson's arm, 3rd and 10. Not as detrimental as most teams that you're going to see at this level, Mark.
Needed 3, and he got 4 that time. 1st and 10 from the 19 for the Red Raiders. Leading 21-20. Johnson. And Johnson is taken down that time, and again, we pulled his number a lot. 82, Andrew Corman. Also in there was Dan Short, number 33.
Yeah, there was a few of them in there. And in that play, West Deptford was aggressive on defense. There was no hesitation. There was no number 3 watching. You know, sometimes you get caught watching Johnson, and you quit being aggressive. That time, West Deptford comes with it, sells out, and they make a play.
Loss of 11 that time, Shawn. 2nd and 21.
And I'd continue with that. I'd continue being aggressive and with the play call and force Johnson to make quick decisions. He's sitting back there too long and finding open receivers.
Up, there's a flag, and I think there's another motion on Paulsboro.
2 guys were moving. We're going to have a timeout here called by Paulsboro. Now you see Glenn Howard walking into the huddle. And Mark, this is something I've been noticing. And you know, a lot of things are said about Paulsboro and Woodbury, and you can say whatever you want. When it comes down to it, you see the West Deptford schedule as I get on a little bit of a soapbox here. But you know, when you look at what Paulsboro has done, what Glenn Howard has done here, Mark, and you know, the class that Paulsboro exudes, win or loss, should be followed by other teams. And I'm starting to see a lot of that on the opposite side. You know, recently, teams that are winning, teams that are losing, you know, it's a reflection of how the coaching staff, how the athletic department, how the school is represented. And Paulsboro does it the right way. And I don't think they get enough credit for that. You know, a lot of times, you know, people will say this, people will say that. Bottom line is, when you come to Paulsboro, you see class on the field all the time. You don't see that from other programs. Another place you see it from is Woodbury. You know, under Zach Valentine. That's a direct link from your leadership and your coaching staff down through to your athletic department, including the athletic director.
2nd and 21. Johnson scrambling. Initially hit, gets out of trouble and hits Tilden. Aaron Tilden going into the end zone. 30 yards, touchdown.
Shawn McLean with a great block to give Tilden the extra couple of yards to get into the end zone. Again, Paulsboro off of a second and long after the huge sack is able to come back, make a huge play, and surprise after a timeout where Glenn Howard can set the play up.
Macarone looking to convert his 4th PAT of the day. And it's good, and a great job by McLean that time on the hold, Shawn.
Yeah, McLean, sure-handed McLean. I mean, this is a guy that's, over the last couple of weeks, has put a name for himself. I know he's been doing it all year, but this has become a nice tandem. Right here you see Kevin Johnson buying some time with his legs. Pollard not able to pull him down. That's going to buy extra time. Once you find that extra time, you're going to find somebody open downfield. Just the secondary's not able to hang with the receivers for that long of a time. And then McLean comes up, springs Tilden into the end zone just to ensure the touchdown, and Paulsboro goes up by 8.
You know, Shawn, these replays have been great, and one of the things they showed early in that play, Nick Curl, number 68 for Paulsboro, absolutely leveled somebody and gave Johnson some initial running room.
And Paulsboro now with a big lead, and again, pushing back. It seems like Paulsboro thrives in that situation. Mark, I want to make sure it's clear that I wasn't at all insinuating anything on the opposite sideline, because I think West Deptford has really cleaned up its program. There were some problems a couple of years, not so much its program, but its school. Remember that there was the banner years ago that they made a mistake with, and got some slack for that, and a couple other small incidents. But also in wins. You see West Deptford, they'll celebrate on the field, they'll enjoy it, but they're not as much in your face. I'm starting to see a lot of in your face type stuff where teams are going over. Last night, Williamstown beats Delsey, and this is a certain situation where, that just doesn't look good throughout the entire program, and it's just, Ron Becker comes over there. He's the new athletic director coming over from Clearview, so not able to really establish himself. But how about the coaching staff for Williamstown? Show a little class, get your kids back over. You won the game, celebrate, enjoy it. But, this whole thing is gotten out of hand. Look at that.
Looks like Paulsboro's recovered that.
I mentioned that early, Mark, that spin.
Ellis on the recovery on, it didn't look like a direct onside kick.
You mentioned this earlier. Ellis almost got one earlier in the game because you get that spin when you kick into the wind like that, and especially the way Grimes is able to boot the football. You get that spin, it hits the ground, and it's going to die and actually come back toward the Paulsboro side of the field, and Paulsboro is able to jump on a huge play at this point in the game, Mark. Remember, West Deptford only down by 8, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tying it up. They certainly needed the football. They moved the football in this half and was able to score a touchdown, but now they need a huge stop.
1st and 10 from the 38 of West Deptford. Greenwald, he stopped right away. A nice job by Falls that time on the tackle. No gain that time. 2nd and 10 from the 38. Tell you what, R.J. Falls again, a young man that was began his career at Gateway, and has really done a good job here for Paulsboro. Kevin Johnson with 3 touchdown passes here today. Tilden will just get a couple, may not even close to the 40-yard line. Again, nice tackle there by Araldi, who's down the bottom of the pile. Gain of 2 that time, so it'll be 3rd and 8 from just outside the 40.
Still plenty of time for West Deptford. They see Clyde Folsom, terrific football coach. Would like to call the right numbers here to get his team a chance to get the football back.
The problem is Johnson's going to keep the ball in his hand, and he's just been a total headache for this West Deptford defense all day. Johnson, again, short, rushing him. Johnson finds Tilden again.
And how about good hustle by Pollard on the backside of that play?
Short of a 1st down, but still unbelievable play by Kevin Johnson.
Again, because you don't want to sell out against him. You got guys kind of dancing with him. And you can't dance with Fred Astaire. Just don't do it. Yeah, he's able to outdance anybody on the field. You don't get the penetration, or you get the penetration, but you don't get the finish. Watch Pollard here. Watch number 77. He's being blocked. He's going to come over and make sure that Tilden doesn't pick up any extra yardage by hustling, using that big frame, just pushing him out of bounds, and giving West Deptford a chance here on 4th and short.
Yeah, 4th and a long yard. Incomplete that time to Tilden as he threw it behind him.
And you get that chance because of the hustle by Pollard, the big guy, the sophomore. Again, the little things in a game, Mark, that can change a game that doesn't seem real important at the time. Gives West Deptford at least a shot here with 4:16. It's a good football game.
1st and 10, Owens from the 30, Owens over the 35. Good gain on 1st down for Jimmy Owens. As he gets it over the 35 to about the 36-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 4 for the Eagles.
36-yard line.
And West Deptford not taking very long in the huddle, as you saw. Araldi, Fox, and he's tackled by Tilden, but he'll get another 1st down.
And give Araldi some credit there. I mean, that is a good looking play from the quarterback. He's able to throw on the run. Good strong throw. Throwing off his wrong foot, but getting a good crisp pass to the outside. And more importantly, the clock stops for a minute as they reset the chains.
Gain of 12, 1st and 10 from the 48, 3:28 and counting here in the 4th quarter. Araldi, and he is stacked up there. Down to the 45. It looked like Big Nick Curl was there. And West Deptford will call a timeout.
He's going to try to leap over and just gets his right foot. Looked like caught up on Grimes. Little surprise there. Plenty of time to run the football. You know, they're able to move the ball downfield, pretty much having plenty of time with the quick play calling all throughout the game with Clyde Folsom.
You know, West Deptford has a halfback option in its arsenal too. As there you see the score, Paulsboro 28, West Deptford 20. And welcome back. West Deptford with a 2nd and 13 from its own 45. Oh, and again, very little stop. Greenwald right there as he handles Scott that time.
You see Aaron Tilden trying to stretch it out on the bench. He's been a couple of nagging injuries throughout this game.
3rd and 12 from the 46 for West Deptford. 2:49 and counting here in the 4th quarter. Eagles trail by 8. Araldi, complete to number 18, Jakubowski. Tom Jakubowski, the 6'1", 175-pound sophomore. And it's an Eagles 1st down on the 41-yard line. 13-yard gain that time. 1st and 10 from the Red Raiders 41. And Jakubowski out of bounds. The clock stops at 2:43. Fearon takes it, and there's the halfback option we talked about, and his intended receiver was Fox, but he slipped.
Yeah, but you know what, Mark? You have to make sure that you set that play up, and you know Paulsboro is going to play deep, so you could get a couple of yards, but it's not going to work as effectively as it would toward the goal line. And Paulsboro was able to do that to perfection to set up its touchdown with Aaron Tilden going to Grimes, but this play doesn't work for them because they haven't really been able to set that up. Not a whole lot of success running wide today.
2nd and 10. Owens gets a good gain there.
Yeah,
inside the 40, close to the 35.
What's worked for West Deptford today is that counter with Tamasitis, and you also have Jimmy Owens going up the middle. They're going to call timeout here. But West Deptford driving, you almost know that it's going to come down, Mark, to that 2-point conversion, don't you? I mean, you can just feel how this game is going.
Well, the one thing is, West Deptford has 35 long yards. One thing I wanted to point out, Shawn, when our graphics people put up the scores of West Deptford's games, you looked at all those scores. Before playing Haddonfield, the lowest total West Deptford had was 35 points, and that was against Haddonfield, which really shows you the job that Coach Frank Delano of Haddonfield and his defense did.
Unbelievable.
It was, yeah.
Unbelievable because, when you look at a game, okay, now you can see how Paulsboro can close the gap against Woodbury because they outgained Woodbury by 200 yards. West Deptford manhandled Haddonfield in that first game. They pushed them around the field, and with that you think, okay, well, you push somebody around, the second time it's probably going to happen again. It's not like there was bad bounces that went your way or went the opposite way. It was West Deptford dominated Haddonfield. Frank Delano did as good of a coaching job as you're going to find in high school. I mean, it was perfection.
Owens up the middle. I think he's got the first down.
I think he might have the first down.
He's close.
We'll stop the clock to at least get a measurement.
He's close. One thing though, Clyde Folsom said that first game with Haddonfield was a little misleading. He said his team got some big plays, and that was really the difference. And he felt that Haddonfield was much better than that score indicated, and obviously the Bulldogs showed it.
Probably, but still the push off the ball that we were seeing from the West Deptford offensive linemen against Haddonfield, they were still getting a huge push. And, Clyde Folsom's going to tell you that because he's modest and he's a nice guy. But West Deptford handed it to Haddonfield in every way in that game.
1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. 2:09 and counting left here in the fourth quarter. West Deptford trails by 8.
And again, what we're saying, not a knock on what Clyde Folsom did. Frank Delano with a terrific job. Now, Clyde Folsom trying to call the right plays here with 1:50 remaining. West Deptford.
Gain of 6, 2nd and 4 from the 25. Owens near the first down chains, does not get out of bounds. He's close again to that first down, and now he does have it.
1st and 10, Eagles at the Red Raider 20-yard line, 1:33 to play.
1st and 10 from the 20. Tamasitis, who just gains a couple that time.
1:20 to play in the first quarter. Let's make some noise for your Red Raider defense.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 from the 18. Clock moving, 1:06 and counting here. Araldi, incomplete that time to Scott.
3rd and 8 to Eagles.
58.7 seconds. as it's 3rd and 8 from the 18-yard line. Play action, Araldi steps up and it's incomplete that time. Big rush, Tilden on the coverage as Jakubowski was the intended receiver, and it all comes down to this play right now. 54.3 seconds left, 4th and 8 from the 18, and West Deptford calls time.
54.3 seconds to play in the 4th quarter.
Now the clock was stopped and everything, but you know West Deptford really wants to be deliberate and talk about this. Boy, this has been quite some game. Obviously, West Deptford put behind that Haddonfield game and has put together a tremendous effort here, and conversely, Paulsboro did not get caught up in that in the fury of the Glassboro victory and put that behind and concentrated on this game. And as we said, no conference titles at stake. These two teams are in different divisions in the Colonial Conference, but this is just a game of good old-fashioned pride, and both teams are showing a lot of it here. It's what you expect when you see two of the best programs in South Jersey. So here it is, the ball game, 4th and 8 from the 18. And there is a motion on West Deptford. The illegal shift that time is declined.
The Eagles, the Red Raiders will take over. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I would like to introduce the seniors that we couldn't get today.
And with 47 seconds left, Paulsboro takes over.
For Casey Grimes, Maurice Lee, Michael Healy, Kyle Adams.
But what an effort by the Red Raiders here as West Deptford out of timeouts. You know, Johnson will just take a knee right here. Paulsboro in a tight formation, and he does take the knee. Well, there's Glenn Howard, win number 216 for the outstanding coach at Paulsboro, and it should be quite a battle next week. The Group 1 finals. Of course, Woodbury won the regular season meeting, and those two rivals, we talked about this rivalry, West Deptford and Paulsboro. Woodbury and Paulsboro are not very far behind in the intensity meter. So a very happy group of Paulsboro Red Raiders who will increase their record to 10-1 on the season, and Woodbury, or West Deptford, will end the year at 9-2. So that's it. The final score, Paulsboro 28, West Deptford 20. Back for the postgame right after this. And welcome back. There you see the final score as Paulsboro prevails over West Deptford by a 28-20 score, and Shawn Leary is down on the field with a number of the winning players along with Coach Glenn Howard.
Thanks, Mark. We're here with a couple of players of the game. We'll be talking with Coach Howard in just a second. And Zach, you know, it's coming like habit now. I get to talk to you after a couple games. That means you're winning. Big game against West Deptford. Obviously, a lot to play for next week, but there's a lot of pride at stake here.
Hey, definitely. That's been my rival, my favorite game since freshman year. Ever since we lost to my freshman year, we just always want to come back, fight, and want to beat them ever since. So,
anything said on the sideline after they go up by 2 touchdowns that kind of inspired the team?
Nothing. We just had to wake up. We came out a little tired, so we just had to come out there, wake up, and we knew we could go out there and do what we need to do. So we just woke up and went out there.
I hear you're a big fan of Channel 5. You're watching some cooking shows and stuff like.
I saw you make some stuffing on there the one day. It was funny.
You went home and made it.
Yup.
Congratulations to you. You'll be stuffing opposing players next week in Woodbury. Kevin, over the last 2 weeks, I mean, you've been just completely dominant, and people are saying you are the difference right now for this team, being able to not only use your legs, but also that balance of being able to pass the ball. Do you feel like right now you're playing your best football of the year?
Well, yeah, I think that I'm playing at a high level right about now. Just doing whatever to help the team, make the team better.
Today you had some opportunities to pass the ball. Was the wind at all a factor? It pretty much didn't bother you. I know it was blowing kind of from West Deptford side of the West Deptford sidelines to your sideline.
Yeah, at the beginning it was a little bothering me a little bit, but then I got into it and just had to step into my throws.
You have Shawn McLean right now, who's doing a nice job for you, catching the football down the field along with Casey Grimes. How much have they improved, and how much have you seen them being able to improve throughout the season?
They improved a lot. Like, they've been going up for the ball. So Shawn, he's been going up for the ball a lot. Casey, he catches the ball all the time. So,
well, congratulations to you. Best luck against Woodbury, and you got another trophy for yourself. Guy collecting trophies over here. Tilton, you're a big part of the game. You have the blocked kick. You have the touchdown pass. You're making plays behind the line of scrimmage, all in about 3 or 4 plays at that one stretch. You know how important this game is. You saw your body out to try and get that block, right?
Yes. We've been watching films lately, and we just had to tighten down our line of block, the line from line A to line B. So I tightened down and just laid out. Hopefully I blocked the punt. I meant the kick. And just ended up that way.
Didn't feel too good, though, did it?
Nah. I think I popped my shoulder a little bit.
You were trying to shake it off. You were able to shake it off because you get a chance to throw a touchdown pass on 4th down. You get your number called. Now, how do you not give that away? Because if it was me, I'd be all teeth. I'd be smiling like crazy knowing that I get a chance to throw the football. How do you hide that enthusiasm for the play?
I heard the play, and I kind of got butterflies, but I kept my composure. I was just trying to make the DB come up, so I can get Casey wide open and throw the touchdown pass, and hopefully it came out that way.
How good is Kevin Johnson playing right now? Because he's just been unreal being able to pass the football. He already has the ability to run, but being able to pass is really what makes this offense bounce.
Yeah, he's playing awesome right now. Our line is stepping up big, and I keep telling them big blocks make big plays, and they've been stepping up a lot during the season. In these last 3 games, they've been doing well.
You had a freshman center today opening up holes for you as well. Congratulations to you. Good game. And Coach, you have to be pretty happy with the way the offensive line has been playing. A young line, you have a freshman starting at center. You get down by 2 scores, and everyone seemed to respond at that point.
Yeah, they did. I'm very proud of the way the guys played today. We had a rough start, and we could have went south, but they picked their heads up and pulled themselves up by the bootstraps, so to speak, and they just did a fantastic job. I think the big pass to Terrence Downs really put a little spark in them offensively, and we're going against a great offensive juggernaut there in West Deptford. So I think I told the guys I don't think we really had the tempo of how fast they run that wing T. We couldn't simulate it that well in practice, and I think it took us a while to get the actual rhythm of how fast it was going and execute what we wanted to do. And we did a better job in the second half. I mean, the first half, they just went up and down the field on us. And the second half, we did a much better job. And then we opened our offense up a little bit with a passing attack. And we thought we could do some things throwing the ball. And we made some big plays. And that's basically what helped us today.
They seem like they went to an up-tempo. They're trying to get to the line real quick, not allow you guys to even substitute or allow your defenders to even think about what was going on. Is that something you had to adjust to?
Oh, definitely, because in practice, you don't get that when you have freshmen and sophomores and just young, unskilled players, trying to simulate looking on a card with wing T plays, diagrams, lines going every which way. It's very hard to simulate in practice, but again, I just give all the honor and praise to God for letting me coach these guys. I'm very proud of them, the way they came back today and the performance they put forth to pull out a victory today.
Kevin Johnson has just been unreal over the last couple of weeks. And it seems like your offense seems to mature. I thought Marc had a good point. It seems like your offense matures as the season goes. You're able to had a couple extra plays here and there. And at this point, he's playing his best football. It seems like that to us. Do you feel like you have that same assessment of him?
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job for us, not only offensively, but defensively as well. I mean, he's a two-way player. He returns punts. I mean, he's doing everything but working in the concession stand. And I know he's getting wore down. It's been a long season, 11 games, and we don't have that much depth. So everybody, we've been real proud of the guys. We tell them, you just got to step up for one more week and find a way to get to practice and work hard and absorb the game plan and just, give it your best. Give it your best.
This time everyone collects food usually during Thanksgiving. What I think Paulsboro needs to do is maybe collect a little icy hot and bring down to the field here because you guys are nursing some injuries right now. A lot of bangs, nicks, bruises going into that Woodbury game next week.
Right. We'll need some ice bags. We'll need some ice bags. Woodbury played on Thanksgiving, so they've already had a couple days rest. And so we're playing today, so we're on the regular weekly schedule, though. We'll be ready by next Saturday.
And again, I mentioned that, Paulsboro, they win, but they always win with class. You don't see any chirping on the side of the field. We're seeing that maybe from other programs, but that's something that I think is real important to you. That not only do you win, but when you do it with class and you walk off the field and congratulate the other team for playing. Something that's real important to you, Coach?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we tell the guys all the time, you got to win with class, you got to lose with class. I mean, you're not going to win every game. When you lose, you got to go shake the guy's hand and look him in the eye and say, hey, you did a great job today. You beat us. But, we'll be back. And when you win, it's not the time to rub it in the guy's face or anything like that. You just got to humble yourself and say, today, we played a good game and we won. So we try to instill that to the kids. I mean, hopefully they buy into that. I mean, who knows, maybe one or two guys, they might say something to, not exhibit that, but we always try to, put forth that kind of effort with our program.
All your eggs are not rotten. Maybe you have one once in a while, it may spoil and maybe change a little bit, but all your eggs are usually in the right basket. Coach, congratulations on a terrific win, and good luck next week against Woodbury.
Thank you very much.
Mark, another great win for Paulsboro, a big win in this rivalry. And next week they gear up for the Woodbury Thundering Herd in a Group 1 title. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Shawn, thank you very much, and a good job by the Paulsboro youngsters and Glenn Howard. We appreciate them coming by to speak with us. Just a tremendous game. Both teams, as we mentioned, played really well today, and the difference, obviously, Kevin Johnson, 3 touchdown passes, bought himself a lot of time, made some great individual plays, and as Coach Howard said, hey, don't forget what he did on defense as well. So that'll wrap it up there. There's your final score. Paulsboro improves to 10-1. Woodbury finishes its season at 9-2. For Shawn Leary, Marc Narducci saying thanks for watching and have a good evening, everybody.